Since time immemorial, music has been part of mankind, conveying messages of sorrow, excitement, joy, achievement, life, or even death. It's part of a people's culture, which is an active agent of socialization, connecting generations by passing on values, beliefs, customs, and norms from one generation to the next generation. In Zimbabwe, music has also been part of various subcultures found in various parts of the country. The value and role of music in human life has contributed to the honor and recognition to those who are in what has become today a music industry. There is a certain type of artists whose music transcends cultures and generations, and one such artist in Zimbabwe is none other than the superstar Oliver Mtukudzi, who has been part of this industry for close to half a century, touching people's lives in different ways. He has almost created his own genre of music, affectionately now referred to as Tuku music.
His music has influenced people in terms of its lyrics. This probably started way back in the 1970s, I'm sure during the Liberation War.
And I must say his music, and many others, was very inspirational. That war was a tough war. We spent quite a lot of time entertaining ourselves. We used to call it morale building. Without that, you had nothing. Because you didn't have enough food, no clothing, nothing. Just one thing. We are here so that we get help, to get guns, we get trained and go back and fight Smith regime. And I must say music took us out of this big depression sometimes. And I tell you, Tuku's music and Mafumo were very, very inspirational to a lot of us there in the bush.
Music is a unifying factor. What has happened is that because the people from different political backgrounds, different religious backgrounds, that are unified by the music of Oliver Mtukudzi, and I think it's done very well to keep that genre of music, which is very unique to him, which is also, I think, a flavor that is essentially African, because you could call it uptownship with a bit of traditional instrumentation, like his katekwe, because he's originally from Mashonaland Central, where they play katekwe music. So he infuses that into his music. So I think the influence that it has had is that people have realized that you can actually make a living out of music. That is one of the biggest influences that he has, especially on young and upcoming musicians.
Coming from a place where I know a lot of people relate to him because it's home, his music has done a lot at a social level when it comes to Highfield. And it gives all of us a lot of hope that you can be anything that you want. The little boy that you see in Highfield today could be anything tomorrow, could be a legend tomorrow, could have their own dash music tomorrow, could be a politician tomorrow, could be a very influential business person tomorrow. And also, I respect so much the fact that Tuku music itself has a home, Pakaripai, a village. You go there are a lot of youngsters who are being taught guitar, or they're given space to learn guitar, to practice it, to perform it, and they are all in this kingdom, the Tuku kingdom.
Tuku has become so much of a benchmark for the upcoming artists, be it Japreza, be it Sulumani. You talk of the hot kids nowadays, they all look up to Tuku and they say where he is now is where they want to be. So I believe you can by just looking at the number of accolades he's won, the number of records that have gone platinum, when you're judging with the South African market, where he's also registered, you can tell the impact that he has had in the local industry.
He has been embraced all over the world by his Shona music. And all he has to do is to translate for them to understand. But he has managed to engage with people from around the world through singing Shona.
Musicians are teachers. Musicians tell us about our life, our conditions, our situations. I also see musicians as mirrors. They reflect back to us what we are. And if I talk about Tuku's impact on me, it is in both respects. The teachings that are so profound in his music that help one look at oneself and say, what kind of a person, what kind of a character, what kind of a citizen am I? Or even what kind of a father am I? What kind of a brother am I? So his music touches one in different respects, but all of them positive, uplifting, edifying, ways that say you can be a better person, you can live a better life, you can have a higher purpose to your life than you are at the moment.
To me, all of Oliver Mtukudzi's music appeals to everyone in society, the young generation, the middle-aged generation, the older generation, because he is singing not just on issues affecting the young or the old, but affecting everybody. And that's why I think he's got an impact even up to now.
Me personally, I grew up on Tuku music. I remember listening to songs like, for instance, Sholi Yangu. That was a lover's anthem, and it spoke a great deal to what true love is about.
Tuku music is everyday life. Tuku music is characteristic. Tuku music is direction. Directing the youth, tell them how to live, tell them what the old people used to do and why they did it. Those types of things is that Tuku music. And therefore, the prophecy that comes out of there into the young also comes into the elders. It reminds us, the old, to think backwards and not remain focused on today. And at the same time, it teaches these young, I love it. It teaches them to behave in a certain way. Oliver has done a lot of things that people should admire. Oliver has talked about rape, telling people urikubata mwana asingatomboziva kuti kune chii pasi pano. And for that matter, even wako, you have no respect, you haven't got the respect yamwari when you do those types of things. Oliver is teaching those types of things.
For me, Tuku music really defines Zimbabwe. It says Zimbabwe, and it is about our identity. And also what struck me when I was now maturing and now working in the area of women's rights was Tuku's song, Neria. What was interesting about it was the depth with which he understood gender issues and some of the challenges related to gender issues, and the fact that he brought it to the fore and it touched so many lives. So the issue is, it's not just music, it is the message, the depth of the message, and the extent to which he engages us as Zimbabweans through his music. Men, women, boys and girls alike.